In the wake of events like Charlottesville and Gainesville, there's been a bit of a debate going around in online right-wing circles with regard to optics, that being the way a situation, action, event, etc. is perceived by the public. The general disagreement seems to be about whether optics actually matter or not. The more hardline crowd insists that they don't, while others are more optically conscious. But this week, something has perfectly illustrated the answer to this question. Someone on Poll stated that they had made some simple flyers containing only the phrase, "It's okay to be white." A day or two later, reports of racist signs and stickers began appearing. Outraged students in favor of social justice posted clips of themselves tearing the flyers down or vandalizing them with contrary statements. And this perfectly illustrates the concern for optics. Those who claim optics don't matter will typically say they'll call us racists and Nazis anyway. But this is exactly why optics matter. Making a completely innocuous statement like, "It's okay to be white," and being called racist for it drives the point home in a way few other things can. Just go look at the hashtag on Twitter. When a leftist reacts negatively to the statement, their replies explode with others asking, "Are you saying it's not okay to be white?" This is a strategy so elegant in its simplicity, I'm surprised no one thought of it before now. Tactics like this, while not as overt as talking about white identity, are a convenient method for forcing the left to show their hand. When they react negatively to such an innocuous statement as "it's okay to be white" or "don't apologize for being white," they are effectively admitting that they stand against white people. Provoking this reaction is the perfect jumping off point from which to mainstream the term anti-white, because the left is actively revealing themselves as such. In the spirit of this tactic, I've made a few versions of my own. These are linked in the description and you're encouraged to use them if you want. All of this brings us to the broader question of what identitarians should do going forward. Much like their reaction to "it's okay to be white," the left reveals itself when they rage at the American flag, the Founding Fathers, and other American symbols, and so identitarian groups should be using this imagery as much as possible. Trump's highly successful campaign illustrates this perfectly as well. If Trump had gotten up on the stage and started talking about white genocide, I don't think anyone can claim that he would have had the success he did. He handily crushed the competition in the primaries by speaking directly to implicitly white issues that other Republicans refused to address, like the matters of illegal immigration and mass migration, issues that were already on people's minds but had not yet been normalized for discussion in the mainstream. Trump's willingness to discuss them began the process of normalization. The left's reaction to Trump's platform is analogous to the backlash against "it's okay to be white." They know what the implications of his stated policies are, and so they jump the gun by calling his platform racist and white supremacist. In turn, the phenomenon of white Americans consciously recognizing themselves as white is on the rise. A recent NPR poll found that 55% of white Americans surveyed say that discrimination against whites exists in America today. And last year, a survey found a positive correlation between Hispanic population share in a given neighborhood and the identity consciousness of whites who live in that given neighborhood. In other words, white Americans are becoming more aware of their belonging in a group as demographics change and anti-white rhetoric becomes more pointed. And now, in the wake of the recent jihadist attack in Manhattan, Trump has moved his immigration stance another notch in the identitarian direction, making a public statement on his opposition to the diversity lottery program. There's only one way the left was able to achieve so much of their agenda in the last few decades: incrementalism. When the 1965 Immigration Act was passed, altering the national origin quotas, it was never presented with the aim of fundamentally altering the demographic makeup of the country. We know now, decades later, that this was the net effect of that legislation. The reality here is that the left hates the historical definition and demographic composition of America. They react badly to American symbols because they view them as oppressive, archaic, racist, and implicitly white symbols. And so an America First platform of reducing immigration, removing affirmative action, enforcing the law, scaling back welfare programs, cutting foreign aid, and so on all sounds like whites first to them, because they know what will happen under those policies. Demographic trends in behavior and crime, welfare consumption, or political views on issues like free speech can and should be discussed. It's not necessary to completely discard a racially conscious message, but it must be presented in this innocuous fashion without the use of alien symbols or needlessly edgy rhetoric. The real point of the optics debate can be summed up with an old expression: it's not what you say, it's how you say it.